Financial information has long been a source of confusion for many people, and it's intimidating for people who don't have a financial background. Combine this lack of background knowledge with information that isn't presented in a clear, concise manner, and you risk losing your audience completely. So your effort to bring clarity to financial decisions is exactly what the public has been waiting for. Clear writing is the vehicle that can help you get there, because clear writing is all about presenting information with clear language choices and clear layout and design so that the reader can understand the information and quickly locate the most important information. Clear writing is designed with the reader in mind. It's information that is easy to read, it's easy to understand, it's clear, concise, it's accessible to everybody, and most importantly, it's filled with facts and it's free of fluff. We should clear up some common misconceptions about clear writing before we talk much longer about what it's all about. Clear writing is not abrupt or rude. Yes, it's direct and it's to the point, but it's always written in a polite, business-like way. Clear writing is not writing that puts simplicity above grammar. In fact, grammar is all the more important when it comes to clear writing because you want your message to read through clearly and smoothly. And finally, it's not about dumbing down the message. It's not about assuming that your reader can't understand simple information. It's all about presenting the information in a clear, direct way and not filling it with excess information that is completely unnecessary. I mentioned that clear writing is information that is filled with facts and free of fluff. What do I exactly mean by fluff? Well, fluff is a number of things. It's excess wording that's unnecessary. It's official phrases that only you and your colleagues may understand. It's acronyms that aren't defined. Acronyms are great when you spell them out for people, but there's nothing more frustrating than reading an acronym and not knowing what it stands for. Fluff is also jargon, words that we use with our colleagues and in our business environment that we all understand, but the general public may not. And it's also buzzwords. These are words that we create within our own environment which really don't have any precise meaning, but they're fancy words that we like to use, like utilize, maximize, leverage. These buzzwords can be replaced with much more common, simple words that everybody understands. Here's an example of some business fluff. If there are any points on which you require explanation or further particulars, we shall be most pleased to furnish such additional details as may be required by telephone. Now this is a perfect example of excess wording filled with fluff. There's absolutely no reason to end your business letter with a statement like that when you can simply write, "If you have any questions, please call." That's just as professional. So why do we need clear writing? Did you know that 42% of Canadians have difficulty with reading and writing? And this doesn't mean that 42% of Canadians can't read and write, of course not. But it does mean that 42% of Canadians have difficulty with reading and writing, so it's hard for them if it's not clear and simply laid out. To break down that number a little bit further, 15% of Canadians have great difficulty with reading and writing. They're at literacy level 1. And what this means is they would have difficulty with a simple task like reading a medicine bottle and figuring out how much medicine to give a young child. A further 27% score at level 2, which means that they can only read and understand information that is clear and simply laid out. And that's exactly what clear writing is all about. So we've got 42% of Canadians who have difficulty with reading and writing. What about that other 58%? Well, I can guarantee you that they're too busy to read long, drawn-out, text-heavy information. We're confronted by messages all the time, and we choose which ones we want to read and which ones we'd rather discard. So you risk losing 100% of your audience if you don't present information in clear writing format. Clear writing helps everybody, but it specifically helps people who don't read well. There's no doubt that clear writing will help that 42% of Canadians who have difficulty with reading and writing. It also helps people who speak English as a foreign language. Did you know that more than 6 million foreign-born people live in Canada? And for these people who are learning to speak English as a foreign language, it's vocabulary that takes a long time to develop. It can take years to broaden your vocabulary. With clear writing, you're making common, simple wording choices, and that helps people who speak English as a foreign language. It also helps people with visual impairments. Think about your senior clients. Here you have a large group of people who are at greater risk of having visual impairments. And with clear writing, your information is presented in a way that's easy to see. The design and layout are clear and concise, so even people with visual impairments can quickly spot the information that they need. And finally, it helps those people who are too busy to read large amounts of text to gain small amounts of information. I'm sure you can find yourself somewhere in one of those categories, or maybe more than one. A little bit more about that 42% of Canadians that I mentioned who have difficulty with reading and writing. It's important to understand what these people deal with on a daily basis. They read slowly, which affects their comprehension. When you read slowly, your memory is simply taxed and can't recall information from the beginning of the sentence to the end, or from the beginning of the paragraph to the end. They skip hard or lengthy words. So if you've used unusual words, this reader will skip it altogether, and they have difficulty processing information and making inferences. So to skip a hard or lengthy word and then try to understand the meaning based on context, that's next to impossible for these people. They miss the meaning when text is not explicit. Everything must be clearly defined and to the point. And, just like the rest of us, they tire quickly and they give up easily when they're confronted with information that is text-heavy and drawn out. Now, even knowing that 42% of Canadians have difficulty with reading and writing, and 58% of us are also too busy to read long, drawn-out information, some people are still reluctant to use clear writing. They worry that clear writing is insulting to people who read well. Have you ever been insulted by information that was clear and to the point? You were probably relieved to get it in that format. Some people worry that, reading is not a problem for our clients. You know that reading is a problem for 42% of Canadians, so it definitely is a problem for your clients. And finally, some people worry if I write simply, people will not believe that I'm competent. You don't have to worry about that. The only way people will question your competency is if you fill your communications with spelling and grammar errors. They won't question your competency because you write simply. In fact, they'll be more inclined to read what you wrote and then believe that your message is important. So to review, clear writing is easy to read, it's easy to understand, it's clear and concise, it's accessible to everybody, and it's filled with facts and free of fluff.